We've got 9:18 a.m. and we will move on to our, perfect timing. Our 6.3, 9:15 a.m. presentation of Proclamation designating the month of August 2023 as Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And we've got a lot of people in the chamber, so why don't you come join me up here? So this proclamation is from the Board of Supervisors, County of Lake, State of California, proclamation designating the month of August 2023 as Breastfeeding Awareness Month. Whereas human milk feeding is the biological norm for infant feeding and a proven primary prevention strategy that builds a foundation for lifelong health and wellness. Whereas the American Academy of Pediatrics and World Health Organization recommend exclusive breastfeeding for about the first 6 months of life with continued breastfeeding while introducing complementary foods for 2 years as long as mutually desired by the mother and child. Whereas the Healthy People Initiative consistently identifies breastfeeding as a national health priority. Whereas National Breastfeeding Month and World Breastfeeding Week provide important opportunities to address barriers to human milk feeding faced by families across the United States and the world. Whereas the vast majority of parents want their infants to receive human milk, but face significant barriers in community, health, and employee settings. Whereas protecting and supporting human milk feeding is essential to ensuring infant nutrition security and immunologic protection for Lake County's youngest people, and whereas the consistent and well-documented health, economic, and environmental benefits of human milk feeding show that this is an investment that will continue to produce measurable dividends across the country and many times over for families, employers, and the government. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Lake County Board of Supervisors does hereby designate the month of August 2023 as Breastfeeding Awareness Month and urges all citizens to work together to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding and human milk feeding now and for the future. Passed and adopted this first day of August 2023. So I'm so grateful that you brought this. This is the first time it's been brought, I believe, since I've been on the board. Yeah, so I'm glad that you spoke of the challenges too in this proclamation, because it seems like it's the most natural thing in the world, but it's really difficult, particularly if you don't have a support network, if you don't have your family, if you have to go to work. And there's some legislation that's helping with that now. So I know when I brought my first daughter home and she was a preemie, I struggled really hard with this and I ended up pumping for a long, long time. But I went to the classes, I had support, and with my second child, I was able to nurse. So it's a journey. It's harder than a lot of people think. And without the people like you supporting families, this would be a lot harder. So I thank you for bringing this, and thank you for bringing this awareness. And I'm going to, who wants to speak?
Thank you for sharing that. August is set aside as a month to highlight breastfeeding, the health risks associated with not breastfeeding, and ways in which everyone can promote and support breastfeeding. Our eCenter WIC program supports breastfeeding in a number of ways. We train all of our WIC staff to support prenatal and breastfeeding families. Breastfeeding clients get to stay on WIC longer and receive more foods. We provide free access to certified lactation counselors. WIC offers breastfeeding support by phone or in-person appointments Monday through Friday. And some ways that everyone can support breastfeeding are by advocating for maternity leave and adequate pumping time while at work and school, and by bolstering baby-friendly hospitals. And we thank the Board of Supervisors for presenting this proclamation.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else on this?
Thank you, Board of Supervisors. On behalf of the First Five Commission, as well as the Maternal, Child, and Adolescent Health Committee, Advisory Committee, this is really important for us, and I really appreciate you sharing your story because we do want to acknowledge and recognize that breastfeeding is not always easy, and it does take a community to support, not only for those who may not be able to and want to, and the struggles there, for those who need to return back to work, and just the community at large. So appreciate it. We are hoping to have the Breastfeeding Coalition restarted this month. It's our goal. So look forward to seeing anybody and everybody who wants to join and attend and help support breastfeeding. Thank you.
Well, that's wonderful news. Anyone else? Anyone from the public? Do we? Yep, come on up. You should start sitting in the front row, Elise.
Hello, I just want to thank you all for doing that. I gave birth to a child and I had to go back to work like so many mothers before I was really ready. And even though there are workplace protections for mothers to do that, it's super, super hard. I remember being at work and for whatever reason, I would leak, and just being away from your child and not being able to do it and having to pump and all of the logistics of it is just super difficult. So I appreciate the support that you bring to the community. And I appreciate the board for taking a moment to recognize this. I think that mothers need all the support that they can get because they're literally the foundation of our future. So thank you.
Thank you, Elise. And do we have anyone in Zoom?
No hands in Zoom. No hands in Zoom.
All right. Well, there we go. Let's take our picture.
If I can make one comment.
Sorry, yes.
So you mentioned the Breastfeeding Coalition. I know that we do a lot of youth activities, youth events. Young families show up for these events. I know that when I did a Power to the Youth, I would always have, I think it was Jacqueline Lay with Motherwise, that would have a breastfeeding tent. And I just think it's something to think about when you're inviting families, young families, to bring in their children and stuff, to have that at every event so that it's something that's available for people to utilize and find comfort somewhere, rather than being uncomfortable, because there is some discomfort, whether it's the way people react or the way people feel. But it gives an option. And so having that available is great.
Thank you, and I appreciate you bringing that up. We are trying to get it at all of our events. I want to just kind of give a little shout out to Kelseyville Senior Center, who has opened it up for all the Kelseyville events. It is air conditioned. It is a separate place where you can go and sit and pump. We've had it at the Children's Fair. We're hoping to have it moving forward. It is a volunteer base to host the tent, so that is something that we're looking at. And we're, like I said, hoping to have it at every event.
Great, thank you. All right, anyone else from the board? Comments? Okay, let's take our picture.
Oh, yeah.